Good morning. I am Kay De Leon Purificacion and I will be your English teacher for today. Before we start, may I ask Miss Dela Cruz to please lead us the prayer? Our Father who art in heaven, holy be your name. Your kingdom come, your will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread and forgive us our sins, as we forgive those who sin against us. Do not bring us to the test, but deliver us from evil. Amen. Okay, thank you. Before you take your seats, kindly pick up the trashes you can see inside the classroom and put it in the trash bins. Okay, thank you. You may now take your seats. So, who are the absentees of today's class? Miss Secretary, can you please check the attendance? Thank you. So, how's your day, class? Is it good so far? That's good to know. So, are you ready for today's discussion? Okay, so let's have first our classroom rules. The first one that you need to do is to listen carefully to the discussion of your teacher. But don't just listen to what I am saying. You also need to understand it very carefully, okay? Second one is to please raise your right hand if you want to share your ideas, concerns, and clarifications. Third one is to be quiet when the teacher is talking. Don't make unnecessary noises, and if you have something to say, just let me know or just raise your right hand. Understood? Okay, for the last rule is to be respectful to your teacher and to your classmates. Is that clear, class? So, who can recall our past lesson? What are the things that you have learned from our past meeting? Yes, Miss Anna? Yes, that's right. It's all about the fiction. So what is a fiction again? And what are the kinds of fiction? Yes, fantasy, historical fiction, mystery, folktales. Okay, very well. So no more questions regarding our past lesson, class? Okay, so if none, we have here a word which is love. So what comes to your mind when you hear or think of the word love? Yes, Mr. Lee. Happiness. So what else? Pain. Okay, another? Yes, Mr. Shah. Faithfulness. What else? Yes, family. God. Challenges. Sadness. Respect. Okay, so in your opinion, what is love? What is the meaning of love for you? Okay, love is to feel tender affection for somebody, such as a close relative or friend, or for something such as a place, an ideal, or an animal. Have you experienced to be loved and being in love? Oh yes, so can you give me an example of love? Very good. So now what can you think about our lesson today? Yes, our lesson for today has something to do with love. Since our lesson today is something in line with the theme of love. Before we proceed, let us define first some of the vocabulary words found in the content of our lesson that we will be discussing today. These are the sonnet, rhyme scheme, iambic pentameter, marriage, impediments, alteration, and tempest. So, the first vocabulary word that we have is sonnet. So, sonnet is a 14-line rhyming poem with set structure. Rhyme scheme is the pattern of sounds that repeats at the end of the line or stanza. Iambic pentameter means that a line contains 5 iambs, which consists of a two-syllable pairs in which second syllable is emphasized. Next is marriage, so it is a legal relationship between spouses. Impediments, it is something that hinders progress. Alteration, it is an adjustment made to something. And tempest it is a severe commotion or disturbance, especially an emotional upheaval. So our lesson today is about a poem which is the Sonnet 116. Before anything else, let me present to you the objectives of our lesson. First is to define what is a sonnet, particularly Shakespeare's sonnet. Identify the message of the sonnet through analyzing the poem. Appreciate the value of love through Sonnet 116. And explain the advantages and disadvantages of puppy love. And last but not the least, relate the lesson being learned with personal experiences. So now let's start our discussion for today. So the first thing that we need to know is, what is a Shakespearean sonnet? By the way, sonnet means a little sound or song. So Shakespearean sonnet, also referred to as an Elizabethan or English sonnet. So it is named after the English poet William Shakespeare. So are you familiar with William Shakespeare? Oh yes, very good. So this type of sonnet contains of 14 lines which are separated into 3 quatrains. So quatrains means 4 lines and it ends with a rhyming couplet. So couplet means 2 lines. So sonnets already contained 14 lines before Shakespeare adopted the form. However, Shakespearean form is easily characterized by its structure, meter, and rhyme scheme. So the rhyme scheme of this sonnet is A B A B, C D C D, E F E F, and G G. A rhyme scheme is the rhyming sequence or arrangement of sounds at the end of each line of poetry. It is typically represented by using letters to demonstrate which lines rhyme with which. As an example, as you can see, the rhyming scheme of this is ABCB, and the words blue and you have the same sound, so basically they have the same rhyme scheme. Did you get my point? Okay, but don't forget, in Shakespeare's time, some of the words Shakespeare used in his sonnet may have had the same pronunciation. This would have been written with Shakespeare's Elizabethan or English accent. So things that don't seem to rhyme for us when we read the sonnet, but probably it rhymes for Shakespeare's way of speaking. Like most of Shakespeare's works, this sonnet is written in iambic pentameter, which means each line consists of 10 syllables, and within those 10 syllables, there are 5 pairs which are called iambs. So one stressed syllable followed by an unstressed syllable. As an example, consider the opening line of Shakespeare's Sonnet 130. So with proper iambic emphasis, the line would be read aloud in the following way, which is, "My mistress' eyes are nothing like the sun." So it consists of 5 pairs of unstressed and stressed syllable. So finally, we're going to talk about one of the sonnets of William Shakespeare, which is the Sonnet 116. So first, let me present and read to you the poem Sonnet 116 before giving you the information about the poem. Let me not to the marriage of true minds admit impediments. Love is not love, which alters when it alteration finds, or bends with the remover to remove. Oh no, it is an ever-fixed mark, that looks on tempests and is never shaken. It is the star to every wandering bark, whose words unknown, although his height be taken. Love's not time's full, though rosy lips and cheeks within his bending sickle's compass come. Love alters not with his brief hours and weeks, but bears it out even to the edge of doom. If this be error and upon me proved, I never read, nor no one ever loved. Now everyone, read the poem aloud. Okay, very good. So Sonnet 116 is one of the William Shakespeare's most well-known and features the opening line that is all too quotable, which is, "Let me not to the marriage of true minds admit impediments." So it goes on to declare that true love is no fool of time, it never alters or it never changes. So, Sonnet 116 is an attempt by Shakespeare to persuade the reader and the object of his love of the indestructible qualities of true love, which never changes and is immeasurable. So, this is a poem about the constancy of true love, and it suggests that love is fixed and eternal, and it's something that will not change even when the object of love changes. So obviously it was written by Shakespeare, so it is a Shakespearean sonnet and it follows the traditional pattern of three quatrains and alternating rhyme scheme followed by a final rhyming couplet, and it is written in iambic pentameter just like what I have discussed a while ago. So that regulated rhythm and structure suggests constancy and stability, which is reflected in the ideas about love and the fact that love is something that will not change. So we're just going to further explain what is an iambic pentameter based on this poem in order for you to understand it better. So the iambic rhythm, it's the dum rhythm that we have throughout the poem. And the pentameter part tells us that there are five of those dadum beats throughout the line. Just like for example, it is the star to every wandering bark. Da-dum, 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 da-dum. So that's the iambic pentameter or the rhythm that runs throughout the entire poem. It has a stressed and unstressed syllable. It reflects a sort of sound of a heartbeat, so it's often used in sonnets which are all related to love. However, it's not enough just to identify the fact that the poem is written in iambic pentameter. We also need to consider the moments where the poet does not choose to fit his words right into that rhythm. So where does it slightly break the rhythm? Think about where it does not conform to those rules and what that might suggest. So if it's not conforming to the rules, could it suggest an unanswered question? Could it suggest a slight increase in tension or something along those lines? So we have an example of that in the very first line of the poem, where rather than having the dum rhythm, we've got a stress on the very first syllable. Let me not to the marriage of true minds. So the iambic rhythm is reversed, and that's known as the trochaic substitution. So what is a trochaic substitution? So it places emphasis on that opening line, and there are various reasons why poets might do this. It's not always the same, but here it gives a sense that the speaker is delivering a purposeful and important message, as if they're coming into the room saying, "Let me not to the marriage of true minds admit impediments." So they're delivering a message which is very powerful. And what the speaker is essentially saying there is nothing can stop love from lasting. And we've got that word marriage there, so that's immediately in our minds. And then it's followed by this word impediments, which again is language used in traditional marriage services, perhaps suggesting commitment and constancy. Love is not love which alters when it alteration finds, or bends with the remover to remove. So true love does not change, and we've got examples here of polyptoton, which is the words alters alteration and remover remove. So what is a polyptoton? Polyptoton is the repetition of words derived from the same root but with different endings. And those words suggest that love is constant. So it will not change the same way that appearances do. And looking at another interpretation, we've also got the fact that those mirrored words could suggest a loving couple. It is an ever-fixed mark that looks on tempests and is never shaken. So again, we've got this idea that love is unchanging, love is constant. The tempest or the stormy weather could reflect the difficult times in a relationship. So love doesn't change throughout those difficult times and it's never shaken. It is the star to every wandering bark. So love is compared to the pole star which helps sailors to navigate, whose words unknown although his height be taken. So although the star's height can be mathematically calculated, its value to the ships that it guides is immeasurable, reflecting the idea that the value of love itself is immeasurable. Love's not time's full. So here we've got personification of love and time. And that personification makes the battle between those two elements more dramatic. Time itself is compared to death here, or always sort of the Grim Reaper. If you look at that word sickle, and that's the tool that the Grim Reaper carries with him. Although time is representing death, here love still wins. So time can take away the rosy lips and cheeks, and it can take away the beauty and youth, but it cannot take away love. Love alters not with his brief hours and weeks. So time here is made to seem quite fleeting. Their brief hours and weeks, they go by very quickly, and however, they're also unimportant because that doesn't mean that love changes. No matter how fast times goes by, love still remains the same, and it bears it out even to the edge of doom. So love lasts until doomsday or the last day of the world. Love lasts beyond death. So the hyperbole that reflects the power of love once again. And then at the final rhyming couplet, we have a what's called volta or a change in tone. If this be error and upon me proved, I never writ, nor no man ever loved. So the poet becomes almost quite defensive and challenging here, and is guaranteeing that what he's saying is true. And he says that if I'm wrong and if I'm proven wrong, then I never wrote any poetry, and no man ever loved. So he knows that he has written a poetry and that men have loved in the past. So he's giving us a guarantee that what he's saying is the absolute truth. As a summary, in Sonnet 116, Let Me Not to the Marriage of True Minds, Shakespeare's speaker is ruminating on love. He says that love never changes, and if it does, it was not true or real in the first place. He compares love to a star that is always seen and never changing. It is real and permanent and is something on which a person can count. Even though the people in love may change as time passes, their love will not. The speaker closes by saying that no man has ever truly loved before if he is wrong about this. So, since we are already discussing about love, how do you define puppy love? Okay, puppy love is a term used to describe what many kids or teenagers whatever call love, implying that they are capable of the same type of true love that adults are capable of. So, did you experience having a feeling or in a situation you called puppy love? So, what is the feeling when you are experiencing puppy love? Yes, feeling conscious, feeling blessed, feeling beautiful. So, do you think there are advantages and disadvantages in puppy love? Yes. Now, what are the advantages of puppy love? You are motivated, you are inspired, you always excel. So, what are the possible disadvantages in puppy love? Of course, waking up late, loss in focus. Okay, very well. So, do you have any questions, clarification, and additional knowledge regarding our lesson for today, class? Okay, so if none, I will be giving you an activity and you will be divided into two groups and you will do or make a role-play presentation about the theme of the poem that we have discussed. So, you should include there the advantages and disadvantages of puppy love or love. So, group yourselves now into two. Okay, so I will give you 20 minutes to finish your task. You may now start doing your work. Okay, are you done? Okay, last 5 minutes. Okay, time is finished. Get ready now for your role-play presentation. Whose group is going to present first? Okay, group 1, you may now present your task. Very good. Let's give them a round of applause. Okay, next presenter. Okay, group 2. Okay, very well, group 2. Let's also give them a round of applause. So, did you enjoy your activity, class? Okay, it's nice to hear that you enjoy it. So, next one, please bring 1/4 sheet of paper and answer the following. Just choose the correct answer for each item. You may now start. Okay, are you done? So, let's answer. So, for the first item, please read Mr. Lu. Okay, so he is the writer of the poem Sonnet 116. So, who's the writer of Sonnet 116? Yes, it's letter C, William Shakespeare. Next, who wants to read number 2? Okay, Miss Mostrales. Okay, what is the correct answer? Yes, it's letter D. Sonnet 116 has 14 lines and a rhyme scheme of A, B, A, B, C, D, C, D, E, F, E, F, and G, G. So next, number 3. Yes, Miss Barba. So what is the theme of Sonnet 116? Yes, the correct answer is love. It's letter B. Okay, next, from the Italian sonnet, sonnet means... Yes, it's letter C. Sonnet means a little sound or song. Next, please read Miss Mary. So what is the correct answer? Yes, it's letter B. It's trochaic substitute. Okay, number 6. It is the repetition of words from the same root but with different endings. So what is the correct answer? Yes, it's letter C. It's polyptoton. Okay, so for number 7, what is puppy love? What is the correct answer? Yes, letter A. A premature feeling of love by teenagers. Very good, class. Seems like almost all of you got perfect. Alright, so for your assignment, please do the following and please write your answer on a one whole sheet of paper and submit it to me for our next meeting. Is that clear, class? Okay, so please arrange now your chairs properly and get ready for your next class. Thank you for today. I hope you learned something. Goodbye for now, class. See you on Thursday.